welcome back to Shred Guitar in the 80s. Today I thought it would be fun to kind of show how I learned to alternate pick a little bit more back in the 80s, and actually show some of the first initial steps I took to alternate pick. And I thought it'd be fun to maybe do some of these runs in the harmonic minor scale, just to get that cool neoclassical kind of sound. The number one influence for me on my picking hand when I was starting out was Yngwie. And I was alternate picking, but at the time I didn't know Yngwie wasn't using alternate picking exclusively. He was doing a lot of sweeps and sticking in pull-offs and certain things to make it all happen. His technique was just amazing and really multi-textural. I just heard it as picking every note. I remember sitting in my bedroom figuring out the lick from Too Young to Die, Too Drunk to Live and trying to play this thing with alternate picking. And it was a mess. To alternate pick that is extremely difficult. I mean, you can do it if you really practiced it, but to make it sound like Yngwie, that would be very hard to do. So I just did little variations. I did little things that I could do to make it sound like Yngwie. I wanted to get my picking happening. One of the first little licks, turnaround licks that I ever learned, if we're in A harmonic minor, was this. And it was a little variation of kind of an Yngwie thing. I would go 6 notes straight up, then I would go, and then come back. So it was like a 30-second note thing. The thing that I really wanted was, when Yngwie picked, there was like almost a space in between each note, which I talk about all the time. The attack of the pick, that chirp sound would be exactly where the note was, and then, because you're so in sync, you can just hear those notes going by with that pick attack, and that's why I wanted to pick fast. I wanted that sound. And the synchronization was so important. And when I play a lick like this, I'm kind of just targeting the downbeats on 2 spots. Here and there. So it's like, and then when I'm playing, I'm feeling the rhythm in my hand. Another thing that's really important, if you really want to do this, is that you need to have a rhythm in your head first. You need to be playing off a beat. You're just kind of jumping in and trying to play really fast without any kind of tempo is a recipe to kind of get out of sync. So if you play rhythm or a song or something first, so once I got that initial lick down, I would do little variations, but I would always do it in kind of an improvising fashion. Once I had the speed build up, I would just try different patterns, keeping that speed going and see if I can keep it synchronized. I could also play that lick as more 16-note triplets, and that would be starting out with this. So I kind of go 18, 17, 15 on the second string twice. Then I do this little jump, which I got from Al Di Meola. Then I can just go into the Yngwie licks here. And just loop that around as many times as I want. So I have like boxes of old magazines and all sorts of cool stuff from the 80s. I've talked about it on my channel here. I collected everything from Hit Parader and Circus to all the Guitar World magazines, Guitar Player magazine, Guitar for the Practicing Musician, just tons. And one of my favorite magazines was out of Britain. It was called Kerrang. And Kerrang Magazine was just really cool. They covered different acts and stuff than they did here in America. And I found this old issue of Kerrang from 1985 that has a write-up on Yngwie. And it's really cool. They call him the Boy in Black. And they're kind of comparing him to Blackmore. The headline is, "A genius with a strat or a Blackmore clone on a massive ego trip?" ? It's kind of interesting to read back from that period. Graham Bonnet doesn't say too many nice things about Yngwie, but fortunately I think time heals. But Yngwie was a real force to be reckoned with. 1985 was the year of Yngwie for sure in the guitar world. He won Best Rock Guitar Player that year in Guitar Player Magazine after winning Best New Talent the year before. The whole guitar world was just totally mesmerized with Yngwie's playing. I remember that's like all my friends that were guitar players. Everyone was listening to Rising Force and trying to figure out all the licks and stuff. And it's just really cool to kind of, like a time capsule, to go back and read some of these old magazines. The cool thing was this issue had a really cool write-up on Ritchie Blackmore and the Deep Purple reunion, the Perfect Strangers tour. The tour was a massive success, and this interview was after the tour, or right at the very end, and Blackmore was in a great mood. He gave a really good interview. He even said some really nice things about Ian Gillan. But it's really neat to read that. And I'm sure Yngwie was pleased that he was in the same magazine as his hero, Ritchie. It's kind of interesting looking back. They give Fly on the Wall by AC/DC 3 Ks. Motley Crue Theater of Pain got 3.5 Ks. Let's see. Oh, here we go. See You in Hell by Grim Reaper. See You in Hell! They give that 3.5 Ks. I love that video on MTV. Let's see. It's kind of neat looking back, yeah. Yngwie kind of talks about his band. It's really cool. And then the thing about Kerrang is just, it was chock full with all sorts of little tidbits. And I mean, it was just amazing. This is all before the internet, so this was our internet for sure. Oh, nice article on Malcolm Young and AC/DC here. I'm a big AC/DC fan. I think their new album kicks ass. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. I might pull out some issues from time to time of the different magazines, kind of go back in a time capsule and see what was happening. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, so. Today's album pick was a huge one for me, and it's UK. This is the Supergroup featuring Eddie Jobson, John Wetton, Bill Bruford, and the immortal Allan Holdsworth. This album was just like a gateway into a whole different world of music and guitar playing. Being a Van Halen, Randy Rhoads loving kid, when my guitar teacher first played me some Bill Bruford with Allan Holdsworth, my brain just was fried. I was overwhelmed with Holdsworth's playing. And Allan became just a big staple of my guitar diet. I mean, I listened to Allan so much, and once you hear Allan and you're an electric guitar player, you're never the same. Those bends, that legato, the way he would just phrase across the bar lines, holding the notes, the seamless attack. This album's a great album and has the classic In the Dead of Night, which has one of Holdsworth's best mind-blowing solos for sure. And then it's By the Light of Day, kind of transitions into that. I love Alaska. Nevermore is a great one. Just a really great album. I know that Sean Lane was a big fan of this album, and that he actually met the Johansson brothers from Yngwie's band in a music store when Yngwie was playing in Memphis, I believe on the Marching Out tour. And they started jamming songs from this album together. And the Johansson brothers went back and said, you know, this amazing guitar player named Sean Lane, you got to hear him, Yngwie. And I'm sure that it was really mind-blowing for the brothers to hear Sean Lane. Even after jamming with Yngwie, Sean was kind of in a league of his own. But I love this album, and I just thought I would pick this today and talk a little bit about how important it was to me. And hopefully you guys dig it too. Well, thanks a lot for joining me. I really had a lot of fun talking about some picking things. And if you like this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And to those of you that have, thank you so much. And I'm really enjoying hearing from you all. So thanks a lot, and until next time, take care and have fun picking.